Okay, you win. We will practice and play on the other field. Several years ago I coached a kids soccer team. It was a community recreation league with volunteer coaches with a focus on fun and equal playing time. There were two fields next to a school. The third field is a 2-minute walk away and hidden behind a thick stand of trees invisible from the two fields. One would never know it was there but did have a small parking lot next to it accessible only by a rarely used, poorly maintained back lane. Most people would park in the school lot and walk the 2 minutes along the path through the trees. The two fields next to the school were typical school fields, not particularly well maintained, uneven, and definitely not regulation-sized typical school fields. The third field was regulation-sized, perfectly maintained, had new bleachers, and was maintained like a professional field with regular watering, cutting, and seeding. It was the groundskeeper's pride and joy. It was the first day of a new season and my team of 10-year-olds, the Brown Pandas, our t-shirts were brown with pandas on them, showed up for our first practice. Except there was another team on our assigned field, a team of talented players with matching socks and shorts, who were all wearing cleats and in their late teens. I approached the coach and explained that he was on our field and that his field was a 2-minute walk away down the path. He politely told me to take a hike. He was there first and that was that. So not looking for a confrontation, I took my team to the really nice field. The parents had bleachers to sit in and we had a great time on the big boy field. After the practice, the groundskeeper asked me why we were practicing on this field. I told her what happened with the other coach. She told me she asked the other coach to switch fields also. He told her to get stuffed and that was his field. 2 days later at our second practice, his team was on our field again. The groundskeeper called me over to talk to her and the other coach. She stated, "Just to confirm, for the rest of the season you are switching fields with the Brown Pandas on the far field and your team on this field here?" "Yeah, this is our field and the little kids will be on the far field." He looked at us arrogantly. "Fine by me," I stated, grabbed my big net sack of balls and trudged over to the professional field. 2 glorious weeks passed when during practice the other coach came over with his team and saw our field. He approached me and told me that we needed to switch fields. I laughed in his face. "Go get the groundskeeper over so we can discuss." I turned my back on him and probably did something like tie a kid's shoe or dry some tears. Remember, they were 10-year-olds. His team started trying to use our field. One of the Brown Pandas was scared of the bigger kids and started crying. A couple of parents stepped in and started shooing them away before one of the 10-year-olds got hurt. He returned with his entire team and the groundskeeper. She was beaming. She asked him if he remembered our conversation 2 weeks ago, and he started to argue. She told him that we were keeping with the terms of that agreement and to go back to his own field. "Go on, Scoot," I remember her saying. We had our first game the next week. All the Brown Panda parents were in attendance watching their children playing soccer on a beautiful field with semi-comfortable seating and a working scoreboard. As we left, we walked by the other team playing on a muddy, undersized field. They eventually changed their game dates and times so they could use the big field but had to practice on the old field. The Brown Pandas never had to set foot on the older field all season.